There's busy. All right. So, all right. And
all right. I'm ready when you are then.
hey, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's me, K Double here. And we are back once again with Alpha. What's up, my brother?
How are we doing today? And welcome to what is essentially going to be the Snyder cut cheap pop episode.
Except we're okay. Just to let y'all know, we ain't going 4 hours. No, not 4
we're
hours.
Not going 4 hours.
Only we're gonna go 25% of a Snyder cut, but it's okay.
The Snyder cut episode, not the Snyder cut length episode.
Exactly. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into this. Like we were, like I was just saying when we were coming in, we were introduced in Batman v Superman to these characters. Like I said, we were kind of introduced to Diana Troy. You know, she helped fight.
She had a pretty big part in Batman vs Superman. You mean Doomsday?
Doomsday. Sorry, not Abomination. Doomsday.
Wrong IP.
Well, I'll say, but she. You know, she helped fight Doomsday, so she had her place. You know, they introduced us. We all know Batman. We all know Superman. I still don't like this whole rehashing of how do you say source stories or origin stories. Like we all know Batman's origin story. We all know Superman's. Let's just do some shit. And so that's where this movie kind of kicks us off. Is right towards the end of where Batman v Superman left off. And I thought they did a very good job of just kind of showing like, okay, after that, everybody just, everybody
grieved.
Just,
a lot.
You know, like they lost Superman and like everybody like went into their holes, and even Batman. Like let's start there. This portrayal, okay, and just so I can get this out my mouth early because I never thought it would come out of my mouth. Mr. Chasing Amy, Mr. But Batfleck was the bomb in Justice League is the best way I can say it. Like I completely and thoroughly enjoyed the character. I enjoyed the way he played it. Like, and I thought the original time that I saw him in Justice League, I thought the Whedon cut, like I said, it made Bruce Wayne look like inside or outside of the suit. He had just gotten his ass out of Gotham State Prison, and like, you know what I'm saying, that whole workout scene was completely unnecessary. But Affleck as an actor, like Batman, he had the Batman quips, like he had the look in the suit. He didn't look bad. Like I enjoyed seeing him fight. So like, and the scene with the crawler during the first Steppenwolf battle, like that was Alfred. Now he's just like, I'm just like, and then the line that everybody knows and loves, you know, I work for him. Like that was just I like that. You know, man. The development of the Bruce Wayne character throughout it, you know, the little moments when he's walking onto the plane and Alfred's like, how do you know he's going to be there? He's like, faith, Alfred.
Faith, Alfred. Yeah.
I have faith, you know? And so.
No, there's a lot of little moments like that, right?
Yeah. So what would be your thoughts on that Batman character and Batfleck as a whole?
I didn't have such a problem with it a few years back. I really didn't, you know, but on my third viewing around now, I have sat back and realized, man, like, is it me or is the bat symbol just really fucking fat for Batfleck? Like the bat symbol is just really chunky looking, bro.
Yes, very
you know what I mean?
So.
Am I the only, like on his chest and in the bat symbol?
Yes,
which I mean for the fucking. Yeah, for the bat signal, it's like it's just weirdly chubby. I find that kind of funny, but it's like, and it looks even funnier on ripped Batfleck. So, but all in all, I actually always liked Ben Affleck as Batman. Unpopular opinion here, I've said it a million times over. I prefer Batfleck to Christian Bale Batman.
Really?
Kill me for it.
Okay, I'll say it like this: maybe in the suit, I could give it to Affleck over Bale, but I think as Bruce Wayne, there was Bruce Wayne between. It's a tie for me between Bale and Keaton. As well.
Okay, I'll give you that. Christian Bale was a great Bruce Wayne, even if he wasn't the best Batman. I'll give you that one. For me, it's kind of you can't refute that the Ben Affleck Batsuit is better than the Christian Bale Batsuit. You cannot refute that from me.
Yes. I can.
Especially the final version by the end of the movie, especially that fucking version, right?
Oh yeah.
But 100%. All in all, I liked Ben Affleck's version from the beginning, but all this did it's gonna be kind of on running theme here. It kind of made his whole character a lot more cohesive. All of the little scenes that covered all sides of Batman. You know, usually we walked into this and Batman was pretty much one-sided as fuck the last time around, and now this time you see, whereas he's with the Justice League, he's cold, he's brooding, he's Batman, and then he gets with he gets with Alfred, and then it's Faith Alfred. You know, it's a whole different tone. There's the different sides of Bruce Wayne depending on who's he's around. So. You know, Ben Affleck did a great job of showing that rather than just being the dark, brooding knight. You know. I liked basically, you know, there's a lot of focus on the idea that Bruce Wayne makes a career out of fighting things way above his pay grade, and he succeeds in this with overwhelming artillery, and it's great. You know, it's the idea that I can't beat you, so I'm just gonna outgun you. Yeah. And it's great. It works great.
You call that a knife? Anyway,
this is a knife. Yeah.
No, yeah. And I definitely got that feeling from this particular version of Batman, and I thought it fit the movie well, and I think that was one of my biggest issues with Batman v Superman and the first Justice League is that. I just didn't feel like he fit, but this movie, it feels like he fit, and he definitely shined in this moment. It's got me asking for more. Like I would be all about a Batfleck solo movie, and now mind you, that hurts coming out of my mouth because I've talked so much shit about Ben Affleck as Batman throughout my life that it hurts for me to say that I want more of him as Batman because I enjoyed him in this, and the chemistry between him and the actor that played Alfred was definitely there.
Oh yeah,
and, you know, Alfred being more than just the butler. Yeah, you know, like it was always like Alfred presented as the butler, like the animated movies back in the day. But we always knew Alfred was much more, you know, kind of behind the scenes. But I think more recent incarnations of Alfred have shown us like a more definitely. I think Gotham was a big part of that. Has shown us definitely a different side of Alfred Pennyworth that makes him a more viable character to the whole scene of Batman, the Justice League, and superheroes in general.
Mm-hmm. Ironically enough, one of my favorite Alfred Pennyworth scenes is in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah,
when you know Bruce Wayne has the burning cinder on his chest, and Alfred just looks down at him and he's like, "Bro, what are you doing all these push-ups for if you can't lift a log, bro? Do you even lift Master Wayne?" It's one of the best fucking scenes. I love that shit. It is. But yeah, you're right. I really liked. I actually noted that in the middle too. I actually really liked the way that Alfred looked in this, and I like the way I work for him. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So next up, let's talk Fastest Man Alive, because I thought there was a lot of development of that particular character in this one. What it was something that I was expecting, considering we didn't get a solo movie of him to start, you know, before we got Justice League, being that we didn't get the Flash. I expected in the original Justice League, I expected more development for the character and out of the character. And I just didn't feel like we got that. I thought he was kind of there as comic relief. And he just kind of popped up. But I felt this particular movie gave him a more, with 4 hours to work with, I should hope so, gave him a more fleshed out story that had me in tears by the end of the movie. Like when yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
We'll get to that in a second.
We'll break into that.
But he did have a lot of comic relief moments. He very much did. You know, he had a lot of moments where he just kind of, like, my favorite moment, and it was in the first Justice League, but for some reason it just didn't have as much impact. But the scene when they all go see Commissioner Gordon, and then Gordon turns around and he turns back around and everybody's gone but Flash, and he's like,
they just appear like that, don't they? Yeah.
Well, that's kind of rude, you know, for them to just disappear like that, and all of a sudden, zip, he's gone. It was just like little moments like that. Ezra Miller, like, don't get me wrong, Grant Justine is still my Flash. Like, Ezra Miller, love you
Grant
to death.
Justine is still my Flash.
but Grant Justine is still my Flash, bro. Sorry, like, fair. Loved him in this movie. Loved him for this part. Like, I thought he finally was able to show a range of emotion where I felt like in the first part it was too much straight line, too much funny guy.
Yeah.
You know, and now you got to see a more serious side, especially with the scenes with him visiting his father. Like you got to see a more human side of Barry Allen. And so like I thought the character development was A+ with him in this particular version.
Yeah. I actually really liked Ezra Miller as the Flash. You know, as I will agree, I think with the Flash in any live action aspect, it's always going to be Grant Gustin. Always going to be Grant Gustin, and there's no changing that. But I really liked the way Ezra Miller moved. I liked the suit a lot, actually. I liked his expressions. I liked all the little shit like that too. I did also notice one thing. I don't know if I would consider it a plot hole or not. The story of the Flash goes that he was in his lab when he was struck by lightning, and that's how he was given the Speed Force, right?
Right. I see where you're going with this. Yeah, he doesn't become a CSI. He gets
the job in the lab at the end of the
movie. So, but I guess there are alternate storylines to how Flash gets his powers. But let me say this though, I got to give it to Flash for kind of moment of the movie when he's like, what did he say when he asks he's talking to Aquaman and he's like hey man, like what do you think Deanna would say about
Cyborg guy? Cyborg
Cyborg he's like
you think Wonder Woman would date a younger guy?
Yeah, he's like she's 5,000 years old. We're all younger guys.
Every guy is a younger guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, but it was little moments like that. Like they never really, it wasn't really them breaking character because Cyborg, of course, is still straight face and just but Ezra Miller is that just like it's all good. Like his first scene in the very first fight scene when they go to confront Steppenwolf and he's like, guys, this is not us working as a team. He's like, and he's shooting around and just,
he's like fucking
you gotta love him. You gotta love him. He had a huge part in the finale you know, of closing out the movie. I thought that was beautiful. I thought the moment of him talking to his dad, of him saying, you know, Dad, your son was one of the ones. It had tears coming down my eyes. I was just like, all right, go Flash, go Barry, buddy. run Barry, run. And I'll get more to that reference later.
Right. Yeah, buddy.
But at the end of the day, and 100%, like I'm all for this Ezra Miller. Once again, the wasn't happy about the actor, wanted to see a straight translation. I always thought that anybody that they had established as a specific actor for the television shows should automatically be brought up to the DCEU. It's okay that they didn't do that, but but at the end of the day, I'm happy with Ezra Miller. I'm looking forward to more. I can't wait to see the Flash now. But I was happy with him.
Yeah, no, I agree though. In the original, he was, like you said, a lot of comic relief, but in this one, it makes a lot of sense now because in my last watching of the Justice League, it feels like, you know, there's that trope in movies where you have the comic relief character who is the three strikes, the fuck up. When it matters most, they do something badass.
Yeah,
it felt like that was the lead up for the character, and that was obviously the plan. But there was never that home run at the end in the original Justice League. There was never that moment that it was like, oh wait, no, he's not a fuck up, he's just clumsy. And suddenly now it makes sense, and now Barry has a solidified spot that makes a lot more sense here. And I've said it a million times over, but in DC Comics, and honestly, if I'm not even fuck that, in all of comics, whether it be Marvel, Dark Horse, or DC, whatever you want to consider, I will take it to my grave that among Superman and Barry Allen the Flash, not Jay Garrick Flash, not any other version of the Flash, Barry Allen Flash, among those two people, you're not going to find a lot of people in the comics who are as butt-fuck OP, as stupid amount of overpowered as shit. Remember, Superman in the original comics was carrying galaxies with a chain. And let's just remember that like 9 out of 10 catastrophes in the DC universe are caused by Barry Allen going too fucking fast.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk.
I like to see him literally break reality just as he does in the comics. That's the final point. Let's go now. Keep going.
Okay. So let's talk one side character here.
Let's go ahead. Let's do it.
Ryan Choi.
Yeah. Okay. I was. Go for it. Go for it.
The minute they mentioned his name, it automatically dinged bells for me. If anybody watched Crisis from Infinite Earths from last year, I forget which Paragon he was, but he was one of the 7 Paragons that helped save the universe in Crisis on Infinite Earths last year. And the minute they mentioned his name, I'm like, Ryan Choi, where are you going with this? Yeah, like where are you going with this? Okay. I
was gonna say, yeah, okay. he's established, so I'm ready. No, yeah, and there was a lot of focus on that at the end too. You're in charge now.
Yeah,
Ryan Choi.
Yeah,
there was a lot of focus on
that. So, but the character himself, like I said, he didn't have any kind of intrusive part. Like he was just a side character, but he's somebody that's call it K-Double's person to keep an eye on in the DC.
You said it before. They're planting the seeds. This is right. This is the planting of those seeds.
I think, and here's my ultimate thing, is I think that the success of Crisis on Infinite Earths on the small screen is going to lead to some kind of Crisis version of Crisis on the big screen.
Yeah.
I think we're going to eventually see that. When, I don't know.
Much like the appearance of Thanos sort of signaling the beginning of the Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War storyline. Once you really see Mother Boxes and Darkseid in the picture, you can pretty much count that, if there hasn't been one already, a Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline is coming.
Really?
Which I'm down for, yeah.
And I'll be honest, I did not know that Darkseid was that tied to the Crisis.
Because, well, it's not that it's not that he is, it's that he's a part of the old and the new God storyline. And as you know, the old and the new God storyline plays a really big part in the Crisis on Infinite Earths and why it happens. And we'll break into it later, but obviously we saw Steppenwolf here. We saw Desaad. And I don't know if that was Big Barda behind Darkseid or if that was one of his other children, but it could be any other. But honestly, seeing those two characters, seeing like Desaad named and Big Barda behind him the whole time, if it was, that's what I'm also thinking we're getting in line with characters like Mr. Terrific and Mr. Marvelous, shit like that.
All right, so it should.
It's
gonna be getting
broken that on accident. Sorry, go ahead though.
No. That's kind of what I like. Like Darkseid was the next character that I was going to get into, in the fact that this gave me much more of a reason to understand why they fear Darkseid. But before we get into fearing Darkseid, there's a meme that I saw on Facebook that had me dying that I now understand. It showed Thanos looking at Darkseid, and he's shaking his head. And now, mind you, there's another one where he disses back on Thanos hella hard, but I can't remember all of it. But Thanos is like dissing on him like, damn, they whip your ass so hard you forgot where the planet was. And and I didn't get that. I didn't get the diss at first. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Darkseid weak, Thanos strong. Now that I've seen the movie, now I get it.
Oh, fuck.
the first time around, they whipped his ass so bad, he forgot where Earth was. And couldn't get back to the mother boxes, couldn't get back to the thing. So, yeah. And I definitely enjoyed like the fact that there was no engagement. There was no immediate engagement with Darkseid. You know, Darkseid is the big bad. So now they know who the big bad is. And now he knows who he's fucking with, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, and so this movie left us with a big bad to fear later, and a big bad that the guys were finally able to dismiss now. And I think that was huge storytelling wise. I think Darkseid play, despite only being seen in, I think, like 6 scenes in the 6 or 10 scenes in the entire 4-hour movie, I think he had an impact similar to Thanos, similar to the scene when Thanos puts on the Infinity Gauntlet and says, fine, if they can't, you know, I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Like, you know, that it was similar to that kind of scene.
Yeah, I agree. You know, to break into Darkseid real quick, spoiler alert, I'm a huge fucking Darkseid mark. I fucking love Darkseid. I love the lore about him, and I love all things about his creation. And I'm gonna have to draw a little comparisons here. I hate to be that dude, but the comparisons between Thanos and Darkseid are a little too obvious to see. You know, one is not a derivative of the other, but was inspired by the other, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I like the weight that Darkseid holds here. And if you think about it, the whole movie here, the entirety of the Justice League here, this whole movie insinuates that that Darkseid is so fucking powerful that they lose the very second that he steps foot on Earth, because it's an assured victory if he even crosses that border. And I think that's my favorite part of the movie, because remember, you'll notice, why did Barry have to stop everything and then go back in time and reverse all that shit?
Because he was able to come through, because they whatchamacallit completed, and he was able to come through. Wow.
Darkseid is so fucking powerful that how do you beat Darkseid? By making sure he doesn't even get there.
Wow. Like I said, wow. Like, yeah, I never even looked at it like that.
Yeah, and again, if you don't know, like, do you know what the anti-life equation is?
No.
Like what they define it as?
Mm.
If I'm not mistaken, it's the equation that literally makes sense and fact of the idea that life is meaningless. And so what Darkseid does is essentially harness that to become God of Death.
Wow. Yeah, give me more Darkseid. Give me more Darkseid. I'm ready for it. Give me more Superman versus Darkseid.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
man.
With the way he manhandled Steppenwolf. Sorry.
All good.
The way he manhandled Steppenwolf, I can't wait to see him face Darkseid.
Yeah.
All right, so
the weight of that.
Wonder Woman.
Let's roll into let's do Wonder Woman first. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's do Wonder Woman first. Let's do that.
Wonder Woman was a character that I think, especially being that, unfortunately for Zack Snyder, Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84 came out before his movie came out. Like, I think that there would have made
a lot more sense, right?
Right. There wasn't a lot of necessity to really explain the Amazonians or explain Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't really need to give an origin story, just the fact that she was there. Now, we can get into the fact that her solo fight scene was like the baddest in the movie.
Fucking awesome.
Like she kicked an ass, that whole thing, the whole scene where she's running along in front of everybody, like stopping all those bullets. I was just like, yeah, I need to get me one of those for the house. Like,
I want one of those.
Yeah, like,
but
bitch. You know, so it was a scene that for me set up Wonder Woman perfectly, showed you exactly how, like, it doesn't matter like what you do, if you're anything except for above a human, nearest to God, you're not gonna with Wonder Woman. She defeated Ares in her first movie, like God of War, just punked his
God
ass.
of fucking War.
Just punked his ass. So like that was my favorite part about the first Wonder Woman movie. As much as the first part put me to sleep, my favorite part was when she fought Ares. But because it established her as a badass, as far as I was concerned. You know, you beat the God of War, you're a badass. So
that's how it works.
Yep. So all right. So anyway, so like I said, didn't need much development to her character, but they gave us a lot of scenes to be happy about, you know, to enjoy her character and everything that she brings. The interactions between her and Aquaman,
fucking gold.
You know, like, and especially considering knowing that, like I said, those two societies didn't really care for each other. The Atlanteans and the Amazonians didn't really care for each other. You know, so to see those two really like learn to mend fences amongst themselves, because there's a bigger threat and a bigger thing at risk here, really, like, to me was gold. Like, it really was.
I agree. Yeah, man. I think, like you said earlier, you know, you brought up the fact that it's very important to the pacing and the storytelling of this, that Superman wasn't alive and active until what is essentially the final portions of the movie. Because for me, if Superman was there, it would have taken away from Wonder Woman. And not to say that they go hand in hand, but I think it's important that for a large part of this movie, Wonder Woman established Wonder Woman was established as a fucking powerhouse. It is made very clear through the events of this movie, up until the point, very specifically, up until the point Superman comes in, that Wonder Woman is probably the most combat and strength capable of all of them there. And it's very fucking awesome. You essentially see her gracefully rip through fucking everyone up until she meets Superman.
Yep.
And it's awesome. Wonder Woman looks like a complete fucking badass. And in my opinion, she looks better in this movie than she has in Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, the original, and Wonder Woman 84 fucking combined.
For sure.
Like, in my opinion, it does a better job of making Wonder Woman look better and more compelling emotionally as well than all of those combined.
For sure. All right. So let's also dig into, you brought up Superman.
Do you want to do Aquaman first? Before we dig into
okay.
What is essentially the two biggest parts, which is probably going to be Cyborg and Supes.
Okay, so let's dig into Aquaman. Aquaman is, let's see.
You want me to go first? You got some thinking time?
Go for it.
Okay. And I've always really liked Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He brings pretty much the legitimacy to that role that Aquaman has always sort of fucking needed, you know? And I'm glad that this movie does a great job of making Aquaman's power not be I talk to fish. It is it's essentially I have the strength of Superman, but it's all of that 90% underwater, my dude.
Yeah.
And you know, they do a great job of making him look useful with the water scene, as well as, you know, making it clear that Aquaman isn't an Atlantean in this one. He's not Arthur Curry, the blonde golden hair king of Atlantis on the throne with Queen Mira. It's this sort of not outlandish, but this nomad like Aquaman, you know. Well, and I like it.
I like the fact that it furthered the story that he was burned by the Atlanteans. You know, there's a reason why he doesn't want to go back. In his mind, in his image, his mother left him, you know, left him behind, you know, and dropped him off at his father's, like he said in the movie, he dropped him off at his father's doorstep and never thought about him again, which we of course have know, you know, via the Aquaman solo movie was not the truth, you know, but at this point, this was pre-Aquaman. You got to remember that when you're watching this too, this is pre
Take Up the Throne. Yeah.
Right. You know, so at that point, you have an Arthur Curry, like the movie ends with him riding off with his pops, because this is where he prefers to be. You know, and so like as much as he will do what it takes to help protect Atlantis has shown when he showed up to try to help protect the box when Steppenwolf came, you know, he will do his part to protect, but he don't want to live there.
Yeah.
That ain't his home as far as he's concerned. And that definitely showed in this movie, but he was another part that I really like the scenes with the scene in the major final battle scene where he gets thrown up in the air and Cyborg catches him and he's like, I got you,
my man.
Yeah,
that shit was so good,
you know. And so it was the fight scenes, let me just give credit through the whole movie. The fight scenes through the entire movie were very well done. Little bit too much on the slow-mo for me, but again,
sometimes.
But they did give us that Avengers shot with all of them lined up and Batman.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. That was probably the single time I was like, yeah, slow motion was needed there. Yeah, that was crucial for that shot.
You know, but other than that, like there were some of the scenes where I was just like, oh, okay, this is a bit much, but it's okay.
Aside from that, it was beautifully choreographed, though. You know?
Very much.
Aside from a few pacing problems in the combat, I feel like, you know, when it comes to the Flash, it's crucial to do, you know, slow motion because that does for full effects of the character. But when you're breaking down, you know, slow motion for Wonder Woman every 3 seconds, then I'm gonna get a little bothered by it.
Yeah.
But you know, it didn't ruin it. It didn't ruin it completely though. Yeah. Now we can break into the big. Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it. Let's. I was just gonna say, final note, like Arthur Curry, like just like with the Flash, the development of this character in this version of Justice League much better leads into a first solo movie than it did in the original Justice League. No offense to Josh Whedon, like I said, he was handed something at the last minute and did the best he could with it. So, but I thought the Aquaman character definitely was developed a lot more.
Yeah, I agree.
But moving on to the big two, the final two. Let's start with Superman. His part was small in this, the sense of like he really wasn't in it till like almost an hour and 2.5 hours into the movie, which I thought, like we talked earlier, which I thought served the movie well.
Great idea.
You know, as far as establishing the characters, like you said, each character had their moment to shine before Superman kind of came in and was like, "Yeah, I'm me." Like,
let me do all of that, but better.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it very much like, and I'll say this. They pretty much used the exact same scene from the first movie when he came back to life, and all of the Justice League is like trying to, stop him.
There isn't too much that was new for Superman. There isn't too much.
And so, but I also like the fact that it was Lois.
Mm-hmm.
You know, making that scene in Batman v Superman where Flash shows up and you got to remember, it makes that scene make a whole hell of a lot more sense.
It's like a way. Yeah.
You know, I also thought that the development of not development, I keep using that word, but how they wrote the full script of how they brought him back to life, I felt it was rushed in the first movie. Like, I want to say total sequence takes like 20 minutes, whereas in this part of the movie, it takes like 45, and they really flesh out like
it makes it look way much better. It makes it look so much more clear. And I'm going to get into the pacing way later on, but for that specifically, I was really glad that part felt like it took fucking forever.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I felt that it served Cyborg's story well too, because it allowed them to tell his story and be able to give them a reason to be able to bring back Superman. You know, it all tied it up in a nice little bow for you. You know, but Superman himself, like I said, when he came back, it was awesome to see him just kind of like dead face, like beating the shit out of everybody. It was weird watching Cyborg sit there and try to push him and him go nowhere, like full threat, thruster jets, and he no,
nah, bro. You funny boy. Yeah, no, it's great.
And so at the end of the day, the Henry Cavill did a great job as usual. But like I said, I don't think they brought him in for too many new scenes outside of the scenes in which they fought Steppenwolf, because a lot of that I remember it from the first Justice League.
Yeah, was the scene where where Lois approaches him and he's standing by the window and it pans off into the swing set? Was that scene new?
It may have been,
because I don't remember that being in the original.
Well, maybe. Then,
okay, I don't know if it's new or not, but either way, I really like that scene. Because you can literally see him progress from I'm just gonna start swinging to, oh wait, I enjoyed this place. No, I fucking loved this place, and you can see him slowly slip back into being Clark Kent.
And for me, that was huge, because it showed that Clark Kent is beyond just being an average character. You know, he's got some depth to him, kind of like what the Superman and Lois show is giving us right now. More depth to the Superman character. And once again, the movie did its job. It gave us a little bit of everything. And for me, I wanted to see. I love the way, as far as pacing wise, that they had Superman like 2 steps behind everybody as he figured everything out, you know, and came to, which allowed him to be there.
As they were doing the final sequence, he was still chilling at home, like, all right, maybe I should go see somebody now. It was good though. The disconnect from him being with the Justice League physically until they were really together did great for, in my opinion. It did a lot to make everyone seem a lot more important until Superman comes in and sort of does what Superman does, you know?
Yeah. Wreck shop, man.
Yeah, Wreck's fucking shop. You know.
So your thoughts on the Superman character?
Yeah, I've always said before that the point of Superman isn't to relate to him. The point of Superman isn't to relate to him. It's to look up to him. The story of Superman isn't about a man among men. It's about a god learning to live amongst men. Right. And this does amazingly of reminding everyone that Superman is the original superhero. He is the gold standard of this shit when he shows up shit happens. You know, you see him do to Steppenwolf in 5 seconds what all of them couldn't do to Steppenwolf in about 2 hours worth of movie.
Oh, poor Steppenwolf. He got it and got it good.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kong did. But we'll get into that another week.
We'll get into that one next time. But no, man. Yeah, man. Superman looks like a fucking force again, and Henry Cavill might just be my favorite portrayal of Superman in terms of just the look and the face and the body and the movements and everything. Yep. Shit. Oh, before I forget that, you know, obviously, for the first time, this is the first time I'm doing this on the show, to do the big draw between comics and movies again. I'm so fucking glad they put in the black suit for Superman. Not just because it looks cool, not just because it's the comic reference. Everyone knows what happens to Superman after he comes back from being murdered by Doomsday for the first time.
He gets the black suit.
It's the fucking black suit. Yeah. Felt like a fucking crime that didn't happen last time. You can't run through the motions of giving me the Doomsday story that happens every single time where Doomsday is born. He wrecks shop, fucks up shit for like a 50-mile radius, kills Superman, and then dies. and then not give me the payoff of the cool ass black suit. Yeah. So now we got the cool ass black suit.
Sure.
And now we had the scene of him sort of looking down the Kryptonian line, you know, until he came to that conclusion rather than just putting on the red and blue suit and getting back to fucking work. You know, there's a visual change in his character to suit the emotional and fucking more intrinsic change. You know what I mean?
Amen. All right, so let's go ahead and take that break now.
Okay.
We got about 2 minutes left on the clock, but I've also added 4 minutes, so we kind of went over by about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. That's fine. And we'll get back at it. Like we'll open with cyborg talk, baby. Cyborg talk. You're listening to the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on the 4 Aces Presents Radio Network, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify. And if you're watching this on YouTube, keep it going. We'll be back right after this podcast promo break, or the brand new 2021 version of the 4 Aces Presents YouTube with our new shows, San Brett and Mr. Deacon Experience, etc. So, all right, y'all. Peace. And we're back, y'all. What's up? Yeah, man, we can't wait to finish. Okay, so let's dig into this last character, the character that I felt was
second to the last. Go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
Second to the last? Who's left?
Martian Manhunter.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll get into him too. Okay.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
So Cyborg.
Yeah.
I thought the character was very. I thought he gave a lot more respect to the character than the first one, because you got kind of like a quick little snippet of a backstory, and then like this brooding character, and then the main battle, and he shows up. This one definitely gave you like the entire story kind of surrounded around Cyborg.
Yeah.
And I definitely enjoyed that. Like every aspect of the story surrounded around him, and it made sense that he in the ultimate end was the hero that pulled the triad apart and saved
Stop
everybody.
The unity.
Right. But Cyborg was definitely a character that I didn't know how I felt about him going into the movie, because like I said, the first Justice League left me wanting for a lot more. This Justice League did not. I thought that he was very well fleshed out, and I thought that they did him justice.
Yeah, man. I agree to that statement in spades. It impressed me so much in the beginning to see, like, even in the first half for me, like, splitting the movie in halves, like we talked about. If we're talking just in the first 2 hours of the movie, you get what is essentially the most flawed, relatable, and human superhero of this whole pantheon of characters, played by anyone not named Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, but you immediately see Cyborg has a sense of fear. He hates the way he lives. There's a lot of emotions that he shows that aren't shown from almost any other superhero here, save for someone like Aquaman. It's very clear that he struggles with a lot, and by the end of that, you see all of that reach a nice little knot.
Yeah.
He has the most development. You see him go from the most brooding and angry to the most welcoming and fist bumping character by the end of the game. By the end of the game, by the end of the movie, But the Teen Titans has this idea that's comprised of a bunch of people who are complete fucking outcasts. Sorry. The green kid, the witch, the orange alien, the orphan, and the cyborg kid. The whole idea is that they're all just a bunch of weird fucking kids, and they took that and dialed it to 11 degrees here because he's the only one of the Teen Titans that's here. I fucking loved the focus on the relationship between him and his father.
Yeah.
And I loved the foreshadowing by Diana saying that it's going to take apart and prey on everything you fear. And so what does he fear? Having to keep living this way. And so what do they give him? This prospect of not needing to live that way anymore. And so he actively says no, realizing that he's not alone, just not in the way that he wanted to be anymore. And so it's the story of Cyborg is told beautifully through this movie. And, when I think about through the last movie, it feels like his one big final moment was broken down to Superman, help me. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was what the big moment was in the final movie. And now it comes down to, I'm the only one who can break this down from the inside. Now, Superman, help me.
Yeah.
And it was a whole different type of storytelling here. Cyborg, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, is probably the most thought out and in-depth character in this whole little DC scene going on right now.
His presence in the movie was invaluable, and what he added to the movie can't be replaced. Period.
Yeah,
like we needed more Cyborg, and we got more Cyborg in this movie. I love the scene when he takes over the crawler.
Yeah,
that was
fucking awesome. Cool. Yeah,
he's like, "Don't worry about this, Alfred. I got it." I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" Wait a minute.
Like, no, this is my tech. Yeah, no, it was good.
But at the end of the day, okay, so let's get to Martian Manhunter, and then we'll kind of talk overall movie and pacing, etc. Martian Manhunter only had 2 scenes, but they were 2 of the biggest scenes in the movie. And one came late in the movie. The other came very, very early in the movie.
Smack in the fucking face.
Yeah. But I thought it was just very, very powerful watching him talk. Once you realize looking back that you're watching him talk to Lois as Martha.
It makes more sense.
and that was just, yeah. It was a scene that I liked, and when he came out and he had his one line, you know, you're important too, Lois, whether you know it or not. You know, you're important too. That left me, I won't say in tears, but I will say, like, it definitely left me with feeling something about myself.
Yeah, I feel it, man. No, yeah, man. No, yeah, it was a really good scene. You know, you know, the moment, like, as a comic book fan, obviously played the games, read the comics, the moment that she walks out the room and her eyes flash, I'm like, oh, no fucking way. And then it pans out and I'm like, no way. You know, I fucking love John, so I lose my shit.
Yeah.
But to me, it does make another part make more sense to me now. Because suddenly, you know, you have that scene, right? And you have it established then that that wasn't Martha. That was John's, you know? And then suddenly it makes more sense now when Superman comes back and he hugs Martha.
Yeah.
And Martha reaches out for Lois like she hasn't seen Lois in months because she hasn't.
Yeah.
But Lois doesn't know that. And that's why you see Lois react that way. It's a very little 2 to 3 second wordless, subtle moment. But you see her reach out like she hasn't seen Lois in what is supposed to be months. Because there's no way that it could have known that that was the fucking Manhunter. So it does sort of make you think as well, he knew all of that, and how many scenes could have just been John's. And so there's a lot of things that could be driven with this, and I really fucking like that. And I like that he did show up in the end and just give the little, you know, I'm here to help, rather than to have something wordless or not. Because, you know, John's whole thing is that he's a fucking Martian and he's weird and he's as strong as Superman, but he's probably the most polite out of all of them.
For sure. Like, the conversation with Bruce Wayne was definitely interesting. Like, he was just like,
exactly.
Look, I saw what y'all did. Like, I had my little eye on it. And like, as the Fresh Prince would say, you know, I'm just letting you know that I noticed you. I'm noticing you. You're noticing me. All right.
That's hella funny.
So I'm gonna notice you noticing me, and we're gonna be good. All right. But yeah, no. But that scene definitely added some hype to whatever's gonna come next. And I don't know how I feel about Restore the Snyderverse, because I don't really know how I feel. I kind of agree with Jamil when he says that Zack Snyder really doesn't understand superheroes. He did a good job with this movie, but I can understand where Jamil's coming from. But I would definitely like to see where his vision would go from here. It definitely left a lot of things open and left us with wanting a lot more. And so I wouldn't mind seeing another Justice League movie. I don't know if I want his hand on all the solo movies. I don't know if I want him being like Kevin Feige was, you know.
Yeah, nah. But I don't want him in charge of the whole set. You know what I mean?
Right.
I get that though. No, I get that idea.
But let him continue on this Justice League storyline. Like, let him tell this as a story, maybe of a sane but alternate universe. You know, whatever. You know, but yeah, you know, and lead that to Crisis. You know, lead that to Crisis, you know, and then bring it all into one universe. But ultimately, this movie served its purpose. It gave us a lot to work with as far as moving forward. It gave whoever's writing the next few movies a lot to work with. And I can't wait to see where they go from here. I truly can't.
I'm gonna break into my thoughts on the pacing and what we can do from here after. I do want to say one final thing about the events of it, and I do want to talk about Slade motherfucking Wilson.
Yeah, brother.
So let's talk. Let's throw this into one. We do see Arkham Asylum for the first time, if I'm not mistaken. We see. Oh wait, no, outside of Batman vs Superman. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just had.
Go ahead.
Did you notice? I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this right now. That was not my Arkham. That was not my Arkham. It was the Arkham Asylum for the emotionally disturbed. No,
you're getting it.
No. The Arkham Asylum for the criminally fucking insane. Okay, let's say it like it is. No, don't give me that. Don't give me that emotionally disturbed bullshit. You're criminally fucking insane.
Where's the meat? Where's the meat? That's so good.
Okay, sorry, I just had to have my little rant on that.
No, that's right. You're goddamn it. It's more intense than that. Damn it. It's not that weak. This is Arkham.
I just happened to notice that when they zoomed up on the thing, it was like
wait
the
a
Arkham
fucking minute.
Asylum for the emotionally disturbed.
Put my shit back. Put my shit back. You're right. No, you know, I did like the insinuation of the guy who replaced Lex Luthor in the cell laughing maniacally and uncontrollably. Maybe a nod to the Joker's laughing gas, possibly. Who knows, right? You know. And then obviously we did see the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor. And I don't know what it is, but he seemed substantially better than he did in Batman vs Superman. I don't know about you, but like I don't know.
You cannot have Lex Luthor with hair. It's like having
you can't
Professor
try and sell
X
that to me.
hair.
You can't sell it to me. Can't sell it to me. I won't take it. It won't take it.
It's like having an old Professor X with hair. Like, no, just doesn't work. He's bald.
No, it's you're right. You're right. He's bald. Damn it. It's part of the power. It's like an airbender. He's more aerodynamic now. Damn it. He's more powerful.
Very much.
But no, I love the way that he gave what he said to Slade. You know, when you break it down, it was, I don't want you to be angry with me, but you're not worth my time, so fuck you.
Yeah,
it was this weird backhanded compliment, and it was so Lex Luthor. You know, I kind of, as much as I do love, I don't know about you, but my favorite version of Lex Luthor is like the animated version, where it's this blocky, muscled up, chiseled, smart, angry, rich motherfucker in a suit that wants to break you in half. That to me is quintessential Lex Luthor. Yeah, a guy that you believe, not just because he's smart, but physically he just gives off the vibe that you're the motherfucker that would go toe to toe with Superman.
Yep.
I kind of do like the chicken shit Lex Luthor though. You know what I mean?
John Cryer version. I'm sorry, bro. Like,
yeah, there's no breaking that. There's nothing wrong with wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no going wrong with that, man. Don't get me wrong.
Oh man, but no, I think just like the Joker character, as you go through the Batman movies throughout the years, like everybody's gonna have their favorite. Jack Nicholson will always have my heart. You know, Jack Nicholson is the Joker. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? It's still one of the most iconic lines from any movie I've ever seen in my life. And so
imagine committing crimes to a Prince song made for you. How baller can you fucking be, bro?
That is still one of my favorite Prince songs. For those who do not know, Party Man is an amazing song. Go check it out on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
But yes, Jack, you know, everybody, you know, Cesar Romero as the Joker. A lot of people, the older people remember that. You know, I wasn't a huge fan of Jim Carrey as the Riddler, but there were a lot of people who liked him as the Riddler. You know, I preferred to be honest with you, I preferred I forget the name of the actor, but the guy who played the Riddler on Gotham. Like, I preferred that version.
God, it was so good.
You know, the suit,
because you can see the difference between Edward Nygma and the Riddler, and then where they merge.
Exactly. Whereas I feel like they kind of lost that with Jim Carrey. But then again, no, that whole movie was badly cast. Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze. Just everything was horrible about that movie.
Killed the dinosaurs. Ice Age. The classic.
But you know, you talk about perfect casting, and I think they've done a pretty good job of casting out this particular Justice League movie. That's why I'm hoping that they can continue with it and move forward with it and have the success. Like you had the introduction of Slade, and I love the fact that in the scene that Slade is shown in, you know, Lex Luthor gives him Batman's real name. Oh, you want Batman? Here you go. Now that's got to play into the next Batman movie. How it's going to play into Robert Pattinson as Batman. But did you hear about that? Speaking of the announcement that the Robert Pattinson Batman will actually be taking place on Earth 2.
Oh shit! Really? Okay, so that's even better because Earth 2 that lies so much. That's so cool. I love that.
So now we get to keep the Bat flag. So they can continue with Ben Affleck as Batman. And I thought that set up an amazing like one-on-one movie where Slade is the main villain of the Batman movie. Because I've personally, like I said, I was more of a Marvel fan than I was a DC fan. So I don't have a lot of knowledge of whether or not Slade and Batman and Bruce Wayne faced off a lot in the comics.
I'm just going to say now, they do.
Yeah.
Countless times. Countless times.
So because of that, it has me excited to see a live action face off of Slade versus Batfleck.
Yeah, man. I really wish we could have been able to see A lot. I really wish we could have been able to see a lot more of Will Smith's Deadshot with Batfleck. I really wish we could have seen that some more. If to dig into Robert Pattinson real quick, best case scenario for me is that Robert Pattinson walks in and Joaquin Phoenix is his Joker.
Yeah.
But that would be dope too. I'd be really into seeing that version of Slade.
Dope.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I really liked seeing Slade. I don't know about you, but it was like, you see it from behind, you see the katanas, and it's like, oh, no fucking way. And then, seeing him step up, it's like, yeah, buddy, this is what I'm here for. I'm really happy to see it. I like the actor they chose for him. He has the face, the facial hair, all of it. It looks good,
I don't think they'll ever get better than the dude that played him on Arrow, but
they're never gonna get better than that dude.
Yeah,
no, the hair and the beard on and the fucking eye patch on that guy, not fucking touchable. Not on this level.
But I do like the guy that they have. I do like that they give him age. We're not dealing with young Deathstroke. We're dealing with old man Slade.
That I was gonna say you can tell the difference. Those are damn near two different characters if we're talking about Deathstroke and Slade Wilson, the eye patch.
Right.
They're almost two different characters.
So
now let's get into that final part. Before we give some general thoughts, let's get into that final scene, which probably has the most weight in terms of going forward.
Are we talking the scene between Batman and the Joker?
The apocalypse scene.
Yeah. That scene. Okay. I have this thing, okay? My girl laughs at me about it all the time.
Go for it, man.
I call it twerk your noodle. Okay. If you've ever seen the show Heroes. Okay, the end of the first season, I know you have, Alpha. I'm talking to the audience. If you've ever seen the show Heroes, at the end of the first season, there's a guy named Linderman who's kind of behind everything.
There you go. I was going to say.
I forget the black guy's name, but he has the power to kind of morph his pass his hand through any object, pass his body through any object.
It's like the Kitty Pryde transparency sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So he gets shot. And the dude Linderman is turned around and he's about to kill his wife or his girl and his son. And all of a sudden you just see Linderman get this look on his face. He's just like, and all of a sudden he falls down and the black dude just stuck his hand in his head, just said with his brain and just killed him. And ever since then, I've coined the phrase twerk your noodle. And to me, that's what that scene did. It just reached in my head, just and twerked my noodle. Because I'm like,
fuck.
Huh? We still get evil Superman? What the? And you need the Joker? Oh, okay. What the fuck is going on? And then I'm starting to listen to the Joker talk, and I'm watching the scene, and I'm just like, oh my god, dude! This is the Joker I would have much preferred. This is the Joker I would have preferred in Suicide Squad. This is the Joker.
This Joker in that movie, shit would look different.
Oh yeah. So I was highly impressed with the scene overall. Love to get your thoughts, brother. But that was me. I was just in awe of that.
No, that scene is the one that's the one that got me. That's the one that was like, oh fuck, I get it. Because again, I'm gonna to dip back into the comparisons. This is comics. There is no time travel, bro.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as time travel. What exists is only multiverse hopping. There is no time travel. There is only going to different multiverses that are at different points in time. Right. So what do you think the Flash did when he stopped, went back, and won?
He created a different universe. He created a split.
There you go. He created another timeline. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is either that might not have been that exact one, but either way, that's just simply a branching timeline where simply Darkseid won. Where Darkseid won. And that's the idea running forward. And interestingly enough, as you heard, in that universe, Joker killed Harley.
Really?
So that, because did you hear what he said? Batman, when he was talking to Joker, Batman said that he promised Harley in her last final fleeting moments after Joker had killed her that he would murder the Joker as painfully as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So that that's who he said. That also begs the question then, probably because it wasn't even conceptualized at the time of this recording. This universe, the Birds of Prey movie didn't happen.
Oh shit, huh?
Think about
that.
That
means him and Joker.
That means
they never
him
broke
and Harley
up.
even lasted to that point.
Wow, I never even thought about that. Like that definitely that retcons Birds of Prey completely out of the DCEU.
Not only that, but then as you heard Joker say, you know, you never should have sent a boy wonder to do a man's job, in reference to when he killed Jason Todd, therefore canonizing Jason fucking Todd into the mainline DCU universe, for one. They just for one canonized Jason Todd. Two, canonized him being the Joker that killed Jason Todd.
Wow. Yeah, this movie takes on a good light, and it gets better by the moment when you look at it. Like they're gonna do some amazing things with this.
Yeah, man. That whole scene was like, wait a fucking minute. Yeah. And so obviously you can see as well, if you couldn't tell obviously enough that this was already just another alternate universe thing, that Superman was wearing the red and blue suit.
Again, yeah.
So even then, it's just more confirmation. This may not be from that moment onward, but either way, it's another timeline, shape, or form. And there's a reason that Barry doesn't do that with the whole time thing, because it creates shit like that, i.e. New 52 every single time.
but are they going with that, or are they going with the Injustice storyline? Because doesn't Joker say that he killed Lois Lane as well?
Okay, in the Injustice story, good catch there. I didn't even think about that. Because yes, in the Injustice universe, as you do know, the whole reason why Superman turns bad ever at all, purely because he's the one who killed Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And then that's when Superman, Albert Weskers, shoves his hand through his fucking intestines. You know, yeah, you're right on that too. And that might be in reference to when he said Lois Lane was the key.
Yeah.
And then she said something about, you know, her being, of course she's the key. And he was like, no, I'm thinking it's something darker.
Yeah.
Because that could be in reference to that, because Injustice kicks off with him killing her. But that does also beg the question, you know, in Injustice canon, Superman does immediately kill Joker afterward, but that's so fucking cool. I didn't think about that like that, though.
Once again, though, if you're talking alternate timelines, though, he could have grabbed that Joker from an alternate timeline or from an earlier point in the timeline. You know, but anyway, like I said, overall, amazing movie. I can't say enough about it. Zack Snyder, good job. But one last thing I will say is that this very much could have served as two separate movies. As much as it did, just as well as much as it did as one whole. From basically everything from the beginning up to the first fight with Steppenwolf is where I would cut it off, and then everything from Steppenwolf on could have been the rest of the movie. And I believe that splits the movie almost in half. Like one's like 2.5 hours, and the next one would be like 1 hour and 40 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I was so impressed with how it was edited together that I was like, this would have just been good as like Justice League Part 1 and then Justice League Part 2. Because you could have paused for a moment and given me an intermission right after they defeated Steppenwolf the first time. You know, and then given me an intermission and then brought me back to the rebirth of Superman and all the rest of that.
I agree. You know, I talk a lot about the difference in tone and setting and presentation that DC and Marvel bring, not just in terms of comics, but in terms of animation and video game value. And I haven't really had a case of really comparison to make on the big screen up until now, and I think I can say it confidently, it works with movies as well. Not just because DC does darker tones or works with adult settings. I think it makes more sense now that DC needs to work at a slower pace. I think, you know, Marvel is very good at pumping out these high production value, 1.5 hour to 40-minute, great fucking superhero movies that are by the numbers. They're good at that classic shit. But I think what DC needs to stop trying to bring up production value and stop the slow motion shit, slow down on the glamour and shit, and do what they did here with slow, methodical storytelling that builds up over time, even if it is going to be cut in half. I agree with that completely. You know, I think this would have been better served if we saw Justice League Part 1 and Part 2, 2 hours each, or even 1 hour and 30 of the step up until the Steppenwolf fight, and then like 2 hours and 20 minutes on the next one to make up for that. I think that would have been fine. But I think so long as they don't try and rush shit to catch up with other dates or scrunch shit so it doesn't make any sense, as long as DC takes the shit slow, they can pump out good shit like this, because this isn't the best movie of all time. This didn't save comic book movies. But all things considered, this was a greatly told fucking movie, in my opinion. Honest, like, B fucking plus, especially given all of the other movies that came out around it. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right. So I'm going to break into one last thing real quick, and that's our question of the day.
Yeah.
Our question of the day for this week was, do you think, or sorry, I'm going to try to pull it up here for us. All right. Was the Snyder cut of Justice League everything you thought it would be? And according to the Twitterverse, yes, and so much more. I can agree to an extent, to an extent. That was with 69% of the vote, by the way.
Good shit.
Guys, look for us on Twitter, KK Double. I'll be posting a question of the week just about every week. And we'll be talking about it a little bit here on the show. For me, it was every, like I said, I can't necessarily say it was everything I thought it would be, because I didn't go in expecting much. But how was it for you? Was it everything you thought it would be? Like, was it more than everything you thought it would be? Did it?
Yeah. Well, fuck. It was definitely for me. Like, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it just saved comic book movies and start up the fucking Snyderverse. Give me everything. No. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and tell me to give me 60 more of some shit in that same universe. No, this was great. This was good. Don't get me wrong. All things considered, this was good.
Yep.
I feel like what it did was essentially give us I mentioned it earlier, but I didn't get to say it on the show. I don't think, I feel like we were given so many missing pieces of a movie.
Yeah.
On years ago, when on the first viewing of this, we were given all these pieces of a movie that didn't fit together and had a lot of holes and missing pieces that didn't make sense. What this did for me was give me every single other piece of that big puzzle, and now see what is essentially supposed to be the full picture of this and the complete product, which is the idea, So this didn't, go from a fucking F tier movie to an A++. Fucking God, take my money. This isn't the Joker. Yeah. nah. But it was a good movie, all things considered, and I feel like if you're a comic book fan, even on surface value, you should watch it. Yeah. I highly recommend it at this point, and I think it does a great job of planting seeds for some good ass products coming up next. But if I were to say, was it below or was it above satisfactory? I'd say it was above satisfactory, but I'm not going to preach it,
Yeah. And I will give it the same grade, about a B+. Like I said, overall, it did a very good job of clearing up a lot of the story and plot holes. Here's the final question for the episode, basically.
Good.
Our friend of the show, Jamil, brings up a point that, would this have been the movie that the WB gave us? The Warner Brothers gave us, if Zack Snyder had been able to complete his vision when he first started it back in the day, back in 2015 when they first started recording it.
Mm-hmm.
Would this have been that vision, or would it have been a kind of like Hatchet, I hate to say,
no, go ahead.
Like Abomination version of this movie?
I know what you mean, like a fucking Kmart Justice League. Right. I know what you mean, yeah.
Because basically Zack Snyder did this, which is why the movie is almost 4 hours long. Because Zack Snyder did this with no editor.
He did this in isolation almost, yeah.
Right. And so it was his complete vision. So if he had been able to finish it, if God willing, he hadn't lost his daughter in the middle of production, is this the movie that we would have gotten?
And see, that's an interesting thought, isn't it? That is such a...
or did the
makes you fucking stop. I think honestly it is
come together.
I think honestly it would have. I think honestly, I think if they had given him the reins, I think if they had given him that freedom, I think we would have still seen this come to fruition. And I think if things didn't happen like that, and I think if things were set not so tragically for him, you know, I think he would have knocked this out of the ballpark even harder than he did here. I think he's capable of a lot of things. Go ahead, though.
Here's where I agree with you, but I say, no, this is not the movie we would have gotten. I think we would have gotten Justice League Part 1 and Part 2, because I think compromise. I think he would have presented this as his complete vision.
You think
and I think Warner Brothers would have said, nobody is going to sit in a movie theater for 3.5 hours.
Cut it in half.
Or 3 hours and 50 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
But what we can do is, you have an amazing product here. We can split it into parts. Maybe give us everything just prior to the Steppenwolf battle in 1, and then you get the Steppenwolf battle and on in Part 2. But I think that would have been the compromise between him and WB, would have been, we're going to split it up into 2 movies, because nobody's going to sit in, because at that point, people were still going to movie theaters. People were still packing movie theaters, so on and so forth. Nobody's going to sit in the movie theater for 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Shit. See, that's the thing too, because when I think about it like that, and I think like, damn, man, like thinking about it like this, in Infinity War and Endgame, we're only able to come in and be like, we're going to sit your asses down for 3 hours for this movie. And they were able to get away with it. Why? Because every movie before that point made millions of fucking dollars. And then I think about it and it's like, you're right. You know, Justice League does not have the pedigree to have been given that time slot. And then I'm like, well, if I try to think about it of if this came out physically in the movie theaters now after Endgame's success, but in 2016, 2017, you know, if he was like, I'm trying to make them sit for 4 hours and 5 minutes, no matter how good that is, no licensor, especially WB, is going to look at that and say, fuck yeah, 4 hours, go for it, bro. You're right.
Okay, and here's also the thing with it, is that here's the difference between Endgame and Infinity War and all that. By the time you get to Infinity War, we're 15 movies into the MCU. We're 15, 16 movies into the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
You have investment in the characters, in the story, and all of that. You know,
you have reason to come back, right?
Exactly. Endgame. You've now invested 10 years in your life in going to the movies and watching this storyline build. You're willing to sit there for almost 3 hours. Justice League is coming off the heels of Batman v Superman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
not the same kind of buildup.
The investment in the characters isn't there for somebody to say 4 hours. Now, you give us a Justice League like that, and then that launches Aquaman into Wonder Woman, into this, into that. Then you give us that 2.5 hour, the rest of Justice League Part 2. Now you got a winner. Now you got some.
It's different like that. You're right. Yeah, no. If they were to set up that and then do this and then give me Wonder Woman 84, and then all of that, and then Suicide Squad, and then they give me Justice League Apocalypse War, and then they're like 4 hours, then they'd have a chance.
Yeah.
But if they're coming through first off the top like that, and they're like 4 hours, I get that. Realistically thinking, wouldn't happen. I see that.
Yeah, that's why I say the compromise from WB would be to split it into 2 movies. It would be the Part 1, Part 2. Is that because Justice League is like, look, we're not gonna put out a 4 hour movie. No, like we're not gonna put that out in the theaters. But what we will do is we'll put out 2 2-hour movies. So find a way to split it up into 2 2-hour movies, and we'll make it work. With that being said, like I said, we've spent an entire episode talking about one movie, so there's a bunch of stuff we're gonna be able to get to. The next time we do this in 2 weeks. I'm thinking Godzilla versus Kong we'll get to.
Yep, that's up next on the lineup. We'll get into we do that's what we have planned. We're gonna break into Split. Yeah, I was gonna say not Glass. We're gonna be doing Split, and we're gonna be talking about Godzilla versus Kong then.
And I'll do the DC. All right, so to close this episode, we're gonna lead into the next episode. What are your thoughts on the WrestleMania card?
The Hurt Business is broken up. I don't want none of it no more.
Oh No.
No. I'm actually pretty hopeful. You know, we have a lot of new matches confirmed that weren't before. We have Owens versus Zayn, which is confirmed. We have
Logan Paul
Daniel
will somehow be involved in that.
Logan Paul is somehow going to be involved. We have a triple threat for the world title, which is always a fucking banger. You know, I'm always into that. You know, I'm really hyped for the overflow of wrestling content we're going to be fucking drowned with.
No shit. Especially with okay. So I'll say that will be that for us. Okay. Next week. Catch us. We might be on a little bit late, being that WrestleMania is a 2-night event, so we might be on.
Yeah.
We might be recording on Monday night and go up on the video Tuesday, but go up on the audio Monday night. Keep an ear out for us. We'll let you know. Other than that, folks, any last words for him, Alpha?
Oh, you know how it goes, my people. Please be safe. You know, it's starting to heat up real good around here, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll hit you back again with some sweaty men, and then after that, we'll hit you with some fucking kaiju fights. Be safe.
And we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier to talk about. Oh my God.
Right. Oh, fuck yeah.
That's it for us for right now, folks. Peace.
Peace.